on the status of the town of Waukesha on-site sewage disposal system. Mr. Laska, do you have anything for us?
Yes, Trippi has some,
Okay, like I stated last meeting, we have the letter from the DNR that allows us to put the floor drains in the fire department into the septic system, but we have to separate the floor drains in the DPW building. So right now, I'm just waiting to get permission to put that out for public bid so we can get prices. It's gonna be estimated around 40,000 like we were estimating before, but I can't get any better prices than that until we put it out to bid.
Anything else? And we'll move on to C, the 2013 auditor engagement letter. This is back in front of us. Baker Tilly has agreed to represent the town of, or to do the audit for the town of Waukesha, but only under the condition that we did not alter their engagement letter. You have seen Attorney Macy's comments on the previous engagement letter, but they are not willing to change anything within the engagement letter.
Question?
Yes.
Mr. Macy, if I recall last time, you had a number of items that you had a question on. Were any of them, I don't know if I want to say important enough, but something that would change your thoughts on accepting this contract with no changes?
If I may answer the question, to give a little bit of history, there was a proposal, which you had a lengthy interview with the gentleman that evening, as best I recall, I was here. After that proposal, then they submitted an engagement letter. I reviewed that engagement letter, I set forth the concerns I had. They then withdrew that engagement letter, so those concerns in that engagement letter, is my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, are sort of moot. They then submitted one that is probably even more legally more problematic. But the fact of the matter is they refuse to change any word of it, okay? The chairman asked me upon receipt of the revised draft, March 13th, to set forth whether or not what my concerns would be with the document. But he also asked me to say, is it just so egregious that I would have to, say, there's no way you should enter into this. And I can't say that. I have set forth for you the risks involved. I believe that going into the future, we would try to start earlier and, get all of these things resolved. So I cannot say that from a legal standpoint, absolutely don't do this. It's gonna cause you a horrible problem. Is it weighted toward them? Yes. I mean, they admitted that. They withdrew the first one that was, more of it addressed some of our concerns from our other communities, and not all of them. But I've set forth for you what the risks were, is really what I could do at this stage, because you have no choice. We're not negotiating. It's a take it or leave it. So I've set forth for you the risks. There are some. I think if it's a straightforward audit and it goes, everything goes as planned, there shouldn't be any, those risks shouldn't come to fruition or be a problem. So I cannot say, don't enter this no matter what, let's just go find somebody else, but it's my job to set forth for you the potential risks if you go ahead with the engagement letter as drafted. Fair enough? I mean, that's what your chairman asked me to do, and did I answer your question?
Yes.
Good.
Another question though. With it being this early in the year, is the way I understand it, they used to be done way later than this in the year. Is it impossible to put ads out again and look for a different one?
I I don't know from a legal standpoint, I don't know of a deadline or anything, but, I know of no reason you couldn't redo RFPs. I don't know if we would get in, the same position or not. I certainly would recommend, and I talked to the clerk before the meeting, I said to her, my recommendation, I don't wanna hide it, is that we do go out for RFPs next year again. Get through this year and go out for RFPs, because if they wanna play hardball, then we should just go out and see what the other people have to say. I don't mean that in a negative way, but they are playing hardball. They're saying, we can't negotiate, we can't change any terms, take it or leave it, we wanna protect ourselves this first year. And that's why it makes it a policy decision.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Fisher?
I appreciate very much Mr. Macy's comments, your review of the contract. Not comfortable with the fact that they have put us into a awkward take it or leave it situation. Having had said that, I think we need to get on with the show. I'll listen to the rest of the discussion from the other board members at this point in time. I'm inclined to proceed, but it's clearly done with some reservation, but I think that's the better of two not real desirable choices.
Attorney Macy, what, when they withdrew their initial engagement letter, what was the dialogue that had them, how did that happen, I guess?
I unfortunately am not the one who can speak to that. I just received drafts. I have no personal contact with them whatsoever. Maybe the clerk or the chairman can answer that question, but unfortunately I can't. I can look through my notes to see if there's anything in any of the emails that explains it, but I don't know that personally.
Do you,
Yes.
can you tell us?
Certainly, Baker Tilly received a phone call, the representative from Baker Tilly received a phone call and a subsequent email from a resident of the town of Waukesha. That resident, she made a number of allegations that were unsettling for Baker Tilly. Most of the Baker Tilly partners asked that they withdraw and pull out of the town of Waukesha and not do our audit. And I did contact the Baker Tilly representative, John Kneppel, and talked him into staying and continuing with the audit. So in fact, it was a phone call and an email from a town resident.
Mr. Mason, you were talking about the RFPs. Is it too late in the game now to do RFPs for this year?
The only reason I'm hesitating to answer is because I don't know of a statute that gives a deadline. It says you have to do one.
Right.
And you are aware, of course, at the annual meeting, you have to give a financial report. Most communities do that financial report by having the audit available or trying to have the audit available for the financial report. I'm trying to think of others of my clients in a similar situation and when they do it or not. That's the best answer I can give you without doing a little bit of research. I think you all know the statute that says you're required to have an audit because you have a combined clerk treasurer and appointed clerk treasurer. So you're required to have it. I'll quickly check that statute for us, but I personally don't know. And we should also check the town ordinances to see if there's any time limit on that. That's the best answer I can give you. I will look for both of those answers in the code and in the statute, but to the best of my knowledge, there's no deadline. If anybody else knows, I'm on the board, or Kathy, I don't want to put you on the spot, but
Come on, Kathy.
you're almost.
Read it out, yeah.
Because I can't be for sure, but I remember hearing in past meetings that it's been brought out that there is no deadline, but I do not know the ordinance for that.
chapter 3, title 3, as you all know, that's your finance title. I mean, you have the annual financial statement. The town board annually should prepare a statement of financial condition of the town and present the statement to the annual meeting, annual town meeting. In preparing the statement, the town board may provide for assistance by any person. Statement shall include the previous year's revenues and expenditures and the current indebtedness of the town. That, I believe, is right out of the state statute, 6041. Many of your provisions are right out of the state statute. Okay, it says the town board shall provide for a financial audit under 66041. And, so those are the two state statutes we have to quickly check. This is the same. 6041 is exactly what I read, which is what I thought it was gonna be. Because your code book, many times I have found that your code book is just an iteration of the state law. And that's not a criticism, it's just a problem. If they ever change the state law, then we gotta change the code. So many people have gotten away from that and just say we adopt the state law, whatever it is. Just trying to close. It's not showing. I'm sorry, that's just not loading right. Okay, well, what we found is that, and I'm trying to find a statute that doesn't exist because it's referenced in the code book, and that they've changed, they rewrote chapter 66 a number of years ago, so. Well, this one just, if this is the section, and I gotta go to a chart to see, 660605 says local government audits and reports. Notwithstanding any other statute, the governing body, the county, city, village, or town may require or authorize a financial audit of a municipal county office or department, board, commission, function, or activity. I'm not sure that that's it, but there's no time limit on that, I'm not gonna answer that. I'm not sure. There's no time limit. We're looking for a needle in a haystack, I don't know of any time limit, I'll continue to look, but I don't wanna delay your meeting, I will continue to look. But I don't know of any.
Well, then I guess I'll make a motion to table this until the next meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Bansky?
Yes.
Supervisor Fisher?
No.
Supervisor Laska?
Yes.
Supervisor Wolf?
Yes.
And Chairman Merritt?
No. Motion passes. It's tabled to the next meeting of the board.